Most people think war is about bombs and destroyed cities. What they don't see is how fast normal systems stop working. And businesses are usually the first to feel it. I live in Ukraine. I have been running businesses here during a full-scale war for 4 years. Some of my projects didn't survive. Others adapted and kept going. In this video, I will show you which businesses failed during war and what you must rethink before it's too late. This is adapted. There are several key risks that destroy businesses during war. Let's start with the most obvious one. Risk of physical destruction. This one doesn't need much explanation. The building where your business is located can disappear in a single moment because of a random missile strike or because of targeted strike if your industry is critical for the state. Who is at special risk? Think about where your business is physically located. Is it close to an airport, a military base, a power plant, or another critical facility? Or maybe it is simply close to a border from which an attack is likely. Businesses that are potential targets usually prepare for this risk. But other businesses, which are just nearby on the map, can suffer fatal damage completely by accident. Economic risks. The economy of a country in crisis is under extreme stress. How fast and how strongly this stress hits regular businesses and employees depends a lot on how the government reacts. This includes taxes, regulations, inspections, and inflation control. Using Ukraine as an example, after the war started in 2022, inflation here became very high. But what's interesting is this: the first phase of this war actually started in 2014 with the annexation of Crimea and the fighting in eastern Ukraine. Back then, inflation grew much faster and felt much stronger, even though that phase of the war was much smaller in scale than what we see today. During war, state quickly changes its founding priorities. Some government purchases and social programs are reduced or cancelled. If your business depended on them, it will definitely suffer. What's interesting is that even in Ukraine, businesses that work directly for the military also suffer from payment delays, even though they are founding priority number one. So even they must have strong financial reserves to survive while waiting for payments for goods already delivered. Of course, each government acts differently. For example, in 2022, Ukraine cancelled some taxes for businesses. This helped many companies survive. But later, those taxes came back, and some of them even increased. The conclusion is simple. If your business has a long cash turnover cycle, strong dependence on loans, low profit margins, and it struggles to stay profitable even in peaceful times, then during war it most likely will not survive. Risk of logistics collapse. In previous points, we talked in general about industries under pressure. Here we can be very specific. Anything closely connected to civilian air travel will not survive the start of a war. War means a complete ban on flights. Any plane can be mistakenly shot down by air defense, and airports become military targets. In Ukraine, we haven't seen planes in the sky for 4 years already. Even the president travels by train. Logistics problems also include supply and distribution chain failures. For example, after the war started, Ukrainian seaports were blocked for a long time. All exports had to be urgently redirected through land borders. If your business depends on only one logistic route or only one supplier, it will take a very hard hit. So, start thinking about alternative routes right now. Risks of trust and safety. We can confidently predict the death of many tourism-related businesses. We already mentioned the flight ban, which makes it harder to enter the country. But even more important for tourists is safety. I have worked on business projects in different industries for my entire adult life. One of them was in tourism. We provided services for foreigners visiting Ukraine, from simple assistance and problem solving to full legal support and legalization in Ukraine. Most of our clients came for education or to start businesses. When the war started, foreigners left Ukraine en masse. Demand for our services dropped to zero. That business did not survive the war. Interestingly, many foreigners now visit Ukraine as tourists again. Why? To see how a European country lives during the largest war on the continent since the Second World War. It's a unique experience. So, if you also want to visit Ukraine and need help, contact me via the link under the video. We may be useful for you. Now, let's talk more about trust-related risks. I will explain this using IT as an example. IT seems independent from external factors. Ukrainian developers are highly valued on the global market. But after the war started, many lost their jobs and contracts. Why? Because abroad, Ukraine was often shown as a total destruction zone. Clients were afraid to trust projects to people located here. They feared that developers could be mobilized at any moment or lose access to electricity or the internet. Other industries faced similar problems. For example, we own an online store selling garden furniture.
This is the best garden swing you can ever find.
I will leave the link below because you won't find better garden swings anywhere in the world. But many foreign customers were afraid to order from us. Some even wrote, "You have a war. Why are you selling garden swings? You must be scammers." So, many people simply won't trust that your business can still operate. This is a problem, but it's not that hard to adapt to. We still sell garden swings. That business adapted and survived. Restrictions on rights and freedoms. War changes everyday life in many ways. A curfew can be introduced, a ban on being outside at night, drone filming may be banned. But the most serious restriction that hits businesses hardest is mobilization. If all your employees are men, your business can stop overnight. Some will go to fight voluntarily, and you may have time to replace them. But if mobilization becomes forced, the military may come to your workplace and take everyone in one day. Some men will flee abroad. Some will stop leaving their homes and look only for remote work. Hiring new workers becomes very difficult. Skill levels drop, salary demands rise. The labor market changes completely. So, ask yourself now, can your business survive this? How will you adapt? It helps if key processes in your business are evenly distributed, not concentrated only on men, not concentrated on a few people. This includes women, people with disabilities, and immigrants. People without citizenship are unlikely to be mobilized. By hiring someone from vulnerable group, you can do something truly good for them, and later, in hard times, that good may come back to you in an unexpected way. Fuel and energy collapse. At the beginning of the war, Ukraine faced a fuel collapse. Gasoline and diesel were scarce. Prices increased. After a few months, the market adapted and the shortage disappeared. But if your business strongly depends on fuel prices and availability, you are still at risk. The biggest problem now is electricity shortages. It seems Russia aims to destroy Ukraine's power generation and distribution systems. And it has achieved significant success. Walking through Kyiv today, you constantly hear the sound of generators. It's now as much a background noise as cars. Electricity shortages are especially critical when you need heating or cooling. You don't realize how dependent modern life is on electricity until it's gone. When power is out for a long time, mobile towers shut down, and you also lose mobile communication. All of this hits businesses hard, especially food businesses. Imagine you run a small cafe, and suddenly you need to buy an expensive generator. But buying it isn't enough. Each hour generator burns about 1 liter of fuel just to produce 1 kilowatt of energy. And you need at least 3 or 5 kilowatts every hour to operate. Multiply this by fuel prices in your country, and you will be shocked by how much your daily costs increase. So now is the time to think. Is your business energy efficient and diversified? We will talk more about this for homes and businesses in other videos. In this video, we didn't have enough time to cover all crisis-related risks. For example, changes in population structure, changes in behavior and priorities, emotional and psychological factors. We also didn't cover many specific business types. So, write in the comments what industry you work in. When possible, I will talk about it using my own observations. It is important to say this: not every business in a risk zone will close. There are unique exceptions, and there are logical exceptions. Logical ones are businesses that knew how to act and adapted quickly. In the next videos on this channel, we will talk about how to adapt businesses and life to war conditions, and even about businesses that actually thrive in such conditions. So, subscribe and turn on notifications. This channel itself is also a business that must survive during war. It doesn't have monetization yet, so if you want to support it and support my motivation to share real unique experience, you can donate via the link below. This was Adapted. See you next time.